Since there are only two possible outcomes from a Bernoulli trial, which we call success and failure, we can assign values to these outcomes. Normally, you take 1 to be success and 0 to be failure. So we could consider a Bernoulli distribution as the values of x are 0 for failure and 1 for success. The probability of success is called p, and since we know that all of the probabilities must add to 1, that means the probability of failure is 1 minus p. As I mentioned later, you sometimes see that referred to as q. So p is the probability of success, and that's why it's assigned here to the value 1. The expected value would be, think about how we work out the expectation. You do 0 times 1 minus p and 1 times p, and of course that just comes out to be p because 0 times anything is just 0. To calculate the variance, we know that we do the expectation of x squared take away the expectation of x squared. So that will be 0 squared times 1 minus p plus 1 squared times p minus p squared. Now, let's just look at that just in case it's not immediately obvious. The expectation of x squared is 0 squared times 1 minus p plus 1 squared times p. So that is this part of the expression. And then for the variance of x, we do the expectation of x squared, take away the expectation of x squared. And this, of course, turns out to just be 1 squared times p, or p. And then we know that the expectation of x was also p, so that's where the p squared comes from. So we get p minus p squared, or if we factorize it, p 1 minus p. And then since we know that the standard deviation is the square root of the variance, the standard deviation is the square root of p 1 minus p. And I mentioned this earlier, 1 minus p, sometimes called q, is the probability of failure.